Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Subham and you are watching Code Commune. So in this video we will again talk about that CRUD operation in the Spring Boot project only, and we will again start with the last video only where we left out for that updating the product, and also we left with that adding the exception handling part in our Spring Boot application. So let's get started with this. So I'll just create this is our the product interface for service layer, and this is the service layer interface for product. And now just we will write that one abstract method for updating the product. And what we can pass here, we can pass one product ID and also one product object. Okay, so this part is completed. So now go to our implementation part. Now we can add that add implemented abstract method. So now go down. Okay, so this is our the abstract method which we are overriding here. And now let's check like what we are getting. We are getting the one product ID. We are having one product ID and one product object. So what we are going to use, so using that product ID we will check that whether we are having that existing product or not. If we are having that existing product, then we can update that product using this user defined product which is coming from that request party. So we will just write the logic here. So first what we can do, we can just check whether this product is returning this product is existing or not. So just write we are having that prod repo. So prod repo that find by id. Okay, find by id. And so what it's returning, it's going to return one optional object, right? So we will create one optional object. Okay, here we will pass that product, and just write one existing. Okay, and now check for like condition. So what if condition, so let's write if existing dot is present. So if this is checking from the database whether this object is existing in our database or not. So if existing, then I'll create one more object, product exist product equal to existing dot get, as this is the our this was the optional interface. So now this is returning our the using dot get method, this is returning our the product class, product object. So now this is completed. Now what we can do, we can just set the values using that we will get the value from this user defined product, and now we will set the value here. So what we can do, we can write existing product dot set. So what we are going to set, we are going to set the product name, and then we are going to set for that product price, existing exist product dot set price, and also we are going to set that exist prod dot set disk. And now we can pass the value. The value will come from that the product which we are passing from that parameter. So just write here we will get the value using the getter method. So product dot get prod name. The same thing here, just copy this. I'm just using the copy paste. What's happening? Okay, dot get price, and now again we have to state the description, right? So dot get disk. So this part is complete. We have stated the product. Now we have to save that product. So for that we need to call that repository prod repo dot save method, and we will pass that exist product. So we have saved into the database, and now what we can do, we can this if condition is completed. So now we are going to return that product, right? So if okay, so here we need to think, if this is saved though, then we need to return that product. So for that let's just return this existing product, right? So exist okay, so I think as we have declared this is the local variable, we need to declare above. Copy this, and copy this part and declare above this, and now just remove this part. Okay, so this is perfect, right? Now what is the issue? Okay, we have to pass that null value here, as this is not initialized. Okay, now it's correct. So what it will do, if that product is present, then it will save the value and it will return that value, saved product value. If that product is not present, then what it can do, it will just return the null value. Okay, so or what we can do, we can just check for that. Okay, correct. So this part is correct. Now we can go and we can write for that REST API part, REST API for this. So we will go into the controller and we will create one. As we were saving, just we can create that one, copy and the paste. We will modify here the update product. So here we will just write update, and as response entity, this is not the string, we are returning that product type. So okay, so we are returning that product, and now just here also we need to okay, okay, so and here we need to call that update product, and what we need to pass, we need to pass that one long prod id, and it will be the path variable. So we will add that path, and here we need to pass that into the braces. We will get using the path variable, so we will just pass that part here. Okay, so we are having this. Now what we can do, we can just pass here the long the prod id. Okay, so this part is completed. Our that API is completed. Now what we can do, we can just run that application and we can check whether this our updating the product is working or not. So first it will check, then we will modify our the following code. so it will take few minutes to, so meanwhile I will just write the API. I'm just going to use the put mapping, as put mapping is used for updating the product. So I'm going to use the put mapping and now paste the URL and modify the URL as update and then 101, that is the existing. So let's check what the product we are having currently. So we are having 101, product name HP Lightbook laptop, 55,000 and the description. So now go back and let's check, like let's just go for the request body and just add raw and then JSON data. So I'll just copy from here that existing one and then modify that data. So go here. Okay, so currently we are having that 10. I'll just okay, so this is the we are having this product name, price and the description. So we are modifying this and we are not going to modify that product ID because product ID is the primary key. So previously it was that HP Lightbook and now I'm going to modify it to MacBook Air laptop. So let's see what will happen. Okay, so this is giving some method not allowed, request method put. Okay, so in the code itself I am just using this I just copied that post mapping part, so that's why I have not modified. So here we can write just put mapping. Okay, now just save it and now let's check for it what will, now again send it. Okay, so as you can see this is returning that particular object, and now we can go to the database and we can see like what kind of whether it's updated or not. So previously it was that HP Lightbook laptop. Now let's check, let's see, this is the MacBook Air laptop. So as you can see this we have successfully that updated the particular product. So now what I can do, I can just write 102. I will pass 102 as the ID and now let's check what will happen. So it's not returning anything and it's also saying that 200 status okay. So what's the issue? If because it's not returning anything, now go here, even it's not returning anything in on the console. So just check into the database what's happened. So okay, so in database is also nothing happened. Okay, because we didn't had any 102 ID. So the issue is we have not added any kind of exception here. Okay, so if we have not added any kind of exception, and if you can check for other ID also, like I'm going to use that 103 ID. Okay, so this, as you can see, this is not returning anything. So what we can do, we can just go here and we can add exception part. Okay, so what exception we can add? So as we are getting that, so go to the service part, implementation, and here we can write if product is null, then we can write that exception part. So if exist product equals null. Okay, so we are going to write that logic. So that logic is like throw new no product font. I'm going to write the custom exception, so no product font exception, and I'll just create this no product font exception in our project. So as you can see, this is throwing that error. So what I can do, I'll just go ahead and I'll create one package as exception. So I'll create dot exception, and I'm going to create one global exception first. So I'm going to write that global exception, so this is our global exception, and here we will write that particular things. So first we need to annotate it with controller advice. So we are going to write controller advice. Now what we can do, we can just write one handle exception method. So I'm going to write public response entity, and I'll pass that string, and then we are going to write the method name as a handle exception. And I'm creating two methods. One is for the particular exception class, and so here what we can do, here we can just return new response entity, and here we can just pass that e.getMessage, and also the HTTP status. So HTTP status will be HTTP status dot not found or something. We have like not found. Okay, so we are having that not found. So this is for the exception class. Now what we can do, one for the custom class. So I'm going to create one custom class, one for the custom class, and here I'll write that the same thing which we have created here. So no product found exception. So I'll just copy this, I'll just paste here, no product found exception, and this will be for, okay, what happened? No. Okay, no product found exception. So here we can also write that thing, and now we have to annotate one annotation, that is the exception handler. So and here we will pass that one value, that is the exception class, exception dot class, and also we have to write that here. So at the exception handler, and the value, and we need to pass that here we need to pass that no product found exception. So I'll just try dot class. Okay, and now what we can do, we can just go for this. Now we can create one no product found exception. So I'll go and I'll create inside this package only one no product found exception. So if I am getting suggestion from here, I'll just create one class. Okay, so we have created one no product found exception. Now what we can do, we can just write this is going to be user defined exception. So I'm going to write that one, and first we have to extend this exception, extends exception class, and now we have to override that we need to create one constructor first. So we will need to write public no product font, and here we will pass that a string message. And now what we can do, we can call the super constructor and pass that message here. So this part is completed for this no product font. Okay, what the okay, so we are going to add this version. Okay, so this is completed. Now go for global exception is also completed. We are done with this. Now go here. This should not give any. Okay, so here we need to pass that message. So product not font. Okay, so what it's saying that now we need to import this. Okay, and now we are throwing this exception, so we need to tell to our method that this method is going to throw an exception. So for that I'll just add the throw declaration. Okay, and as we are declaring in here, so what we can do, that we need to, okay, so we need to declare it here also. So we have declared, and service part is completed. Now go to our controller part, and here we need to throws the declaration. Okay, so now it's done. Now check if we are passing the wrong ID, what will happen. Now you are seeing that this is saying the product not font. So this is the beautiful message you are getting, that product not font. So this is more readable, and you are also getting one status, that is the 404 not font. Previously we were getting that 200 status, and even that we were not getting any kind of message. So this is the beauty of the exception handling in our Spring Boot What. So we have done with this also, and if we have completed with our the first thing, that was that updating the product, and also we have added that exception handling thing in our Spring Boot application. So we are done with the CRUD operation in our Spring Boot. So that's all about this video. I hope you have liked it, and if you have any query, if you have any question, you can ask in the comment section. So till then, just subscribe